In the previous video in this series, we described how the Book of Mormon quotes many chapters of Isaiah, who prophesies of the end times. In it, we learn of the end-time arch-tyrant, referred to by Isaiah as the king of Assyria. This end-time tyrant boasts that he will create a one-world government, and in the process will kill over 90% of the Earth's population. In line with this information, we presented that a worldwide secret combinations, like those in the Book of Mormon, have taken over the governments of the world and are implementing the tyrant's goals for population destruction. Our research has demonstrated that the tyrant is using a false pandemic to force the world into accept a vaccination that will make most people who receive it susceptible to a wild virus that may be released later on, after most of the human population's immune systems are compromised by that vaccine. These are bold assertions, yet the evidence, both spiritual and temporal, looks to be the truth. We encourage all who watch these videos to pray sincerely to the Lord to get their own witness as to the truthfulness of what is being taught here. So where do we go from here? If what we have shown you is true, then you need to be watchful for any organization or leader that promotes either the UN Agenda 2030 or the taking of the vaccine. We know from the Book of Mormon, which serves as a type for future events, that all of the governments in the last days will be infiltrated by secret combinations. But what of other organizations? Based on recent events, most of the media, both traditional and social media, are now being controlled by secret combinations. And we are seeing that free speech is being greatly curtailed and opposing views are being silenced. For example, anyone attempting to point out that the COVID-19 virus is about the same as the annual flu virus, or that we should use caution in taking an untested vaccine, are being silenced. Some brave medical doctors are paying a high price for attempting to sound the alarm by being decertified or losing their medical license or privileges, all for having a different opinion or attempting to reveal medical facts that don't agree with this narrative. Others who are trying to show that the CDC statistics are being manipulated to show greater deaths as a result of COVID-19 versus the actual primary causes like heart disease, cancer, diabetes, and other comorbidities are also being deplatformed and silenced. It is unbelievable that a nation whose first right, the right of free speech, as proclaimed in the Bill of Rights, is under such an attack. It's like the propaganda ministry under Germany in the 1930s all over again. Other organizations like churches are also promoting the goals of the secret combinations. In the most recent October conference of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, one of the leaders of the church, Todd Christofferson, made the following statement. In 2015, the United Nations adopted what was called the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. It was described as a shared blueprint for peace and prosperity for people and the planet, and now and into the future. The Agenda for Sustainable Development includes 17 goals to be achieved by the year 2030, such as no poverty, zero hunger, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, and decent work. The concept of sustainable development is an interesting and important one. More recently, speaking of the vaccine, the church announced, the church urges its members, employees, and missionaries to be good global citizens and to help quell the pandemic by safeguarding themselves and others through immunization. The use of the term good global citizens is very telling. Based on these statements, an important question should be asked. Are the leaders of this church naive, or are they co-conspirators? They claim to have the gift of prophecy and seership. However, in light of the goals of the arch-tyrant, do you see these gifts being demonstrated by their actions? So in order to answer this question, we need to be reminded of a warning that President Benson gave to the church in a 1986 conference talk when he said, concerning the condemnation the church had been under since 1832, he quoted the Doctrine and Covenants, section 84. Your minds in times past have been darkened because of unbelief, and because you have treated lightly the things that you have received, which vanity and unbelief have brought the whole church under condemnation. And this condemnation resteth upon the children of Zion, even all. And they shall remain under this condemnation until they repent and remember the new covenant in the Book of Mormon and the former commandments which I have given them, not only to say, but to do according to that which has been written. President Benson went on to say, I reaffirm these words to you this day. Let us not remain under condemnation, with its scourge and judgment, by treating lightly this great and marvelous gift the Lord has given to us. What is this gift that we are treating lightly? It is the fullness of the doctrine of Christ that is taught in the Book of Mormon, which includes the command by the Lord to seek for and act upon personal revelation. If we follow the doctrine of Christ and seek for His guidance through our own personal revelation from Him, then we will be able to see clearly the machinations of the secret combinations and will be prepared to act accordingly. Therefore, we encourage all of us to awake and arise from the darkness that we are in and come to the truth and light of the Lord.